On today's episode of What the Heck Are We Doing? What are we talking about?
What are we talking about?
We are gonna we are gonna talk about some haunted cemeteries in Illinois because we unfortunately live here.
That's right, the S is silent.
Illinois.
Illinois.
Yeah, we're talking about you, Owen. We have a friend that's from the East Coast. Anytime he brings up the state, he goes, Illinois. Illinois, and we're like, bruh, it's Illinois. And now I'm getting Illinoised with you. I'm gonna go home after that one.
Me too. Goodbye. She'll finish the video.
I have a list of cemeteries here that we're gonna talk about. We're gonna talk about the legends. We're gonna read some stuff to you. And then I have been to most of these cemeteries. So then after we get done reading, I'm going to tell you about my experiences that I have had at these cemeteries.
And I haven't been to any.
Cause she is scared of that stuff.
I'd be okay with going as long as I don't get attacked by nothing.
I always go during the day and stuff just because I don't like to be that kind of person that sneaks into a cemetery at night.
Yeah, because most of them close at dusk or whatever.
The first one is a cemetery that I love so much. It is the Aux Sable Cemetery. Aux Sable Cemetery is located in Minooka, Illinois, at the end of Brown Road. It is a small cemetery, but has many hauntings. With only one way in and one way out, it is fueled by paranormal energy. The graves here are mostly from the 1800s, as it used to be a hunting ground for the Potawatomi. It is possible that this area could have once been a burial ground for Native Americans before white settlers took it over for themselves. There are rumors the cemetery is haunted by a young female spirit who likes to play pranks on visitors by locking their car doors and rolling the windows down. Mysterious fires and ghost-like mists have reportedly been seen inside the cemetery. Some believe there is a tunnel beneath the caretaker's building. There have been many claims of satanic rituals being performed, such as sacrificing animals. One report says they witnessed a man dressed as a cowboy leaning up on a tree. Now, I have been there. I went there in 2019. It was actually one of the first ever cemeteries that I went to for this channel. So I literally only had a K2 meter. Like, I'm walking around like, any ghosts? Like, I was just so excited to be there. I didn't have any experiences of windows rolling down, car doors locking, but I had a vibe there. Like, there was definitely something there. Go down this trail, it says like Aux Sable Cemetery, and then you have to like drive over this bridge. You go down that road and then it just kind of opens up into a cemetery on both sides, but like you have to go back out the same way. There's not another exit. And there's like trees all around, so it feels like you're trapped in the energy. Like, it is freaky. And then back where there's a wooded area, like it literally looks like something was tied to a tree. Like an animal was tied to a tree and set on fire. It is such a weird freaking vibe over there. And that's where I got spikes on the K2 meter. So I don't know if they unleashed some kind of energy, but it did not feel like a female spirit that wanted to play pranks on you. It felt like something darker, and it kind of freaked me out. Like, it was the first place I had ever really been to that was haunted by things, you know. While I was there was like the caretaker's building. It looked like it was an old mausoleum. I don't know if it is or not. It looks like it. Like, I'm 99% sure it is. Like, while I was there were actually caretakers working in the cemetery, like, just going around to graves, like, cutting grass and stuff. He didn't bother us, didn't say anything to us, but went to the caretaker's building and it was locked. I wasn't even gonna try to open it, obviously, but I don't know I don't know if there's actually a tunnel, like I've heard that a lot, and if there is, that'd be a little spooky. Because like it was a mausoleum, so why is there a tunnel under a mausoleum? There's not normally tunnels under mausoleums.
So they can crawl out.
But I did, like the pictures that I took there, we went in the fall, and fall is my favorite, and the colors on the trees, and it was so freaking beautiful. I just fell in love with it, and like I want to go back so bad, but it might have to wait until next year. I'm kind of sad about that, but I really want to go again in the fall. You're gonna come.
Okay. Should I bring my old camera that takes really retro looking photos?
Yes.
The next one is the Bachelor's Grove Cemetery. Bachelor's Grove Cemetery is located in Midlothian, Illinois, just on the outskirts of Chicago. Surrounded by woods, the cemetery has a big creep factor about it. Around 1833 or 1834, 4 single men settled at the Grove, and it became known as Bachelor's Grove. It is one of the oldest cemeteries in South Cook County, with a burial dating back to 1844. During the 1960s and 70s, vandalisms were increasing and evidence of satanic rituals were discovered. There were attempts of robbery and trying to dig up graves. Many headstones were knocked over, spray painted, and even stolen. Along with the vandalisms, increased talk and paranormal activity started. Legends of ghostly apparitions, phantom houses, and mysterious balls of light began to be told. Some report seeing a phantom dog, a black dog, lingering around the cemetery and trails. When the dog is approached, it will disappear right in front of the witness's eyes. One of the most popular ghost sightings is the Lady in White. She is also known as the Madonna of Bachelor's Grove, and is said to wander around the cemetery on moonlit nights holding a baby. A photo was captured of her or another possible spirit sitting on a headstone during the day.
Bachelor's Grove is a cemetery that I have been to before. I went in 2020. Corona. What else did you have to do? Go to cemeteries. Talk to dead people, I guess. I went there, and while I was there, I actually found the caretaker who takes care of, like, I don't know if he like actually takes care of stuff, but he has a YouTube channel for Bachelor's Grove. He just makes sure there's no funny business going on and stuff. He's there all the time. And I got to talk to him for like an hour and a half about things that have happened there. Like he showed me spots where the where your K2 meter will go off, and it's just because of radio towers and stuff, power lines being in the way. So like he was showing me like a lot of things that could be debunked and stuff like that. Also, a part of Bachelor's Grove, there's like a sewer pond next to it, and there were mosquitoes everywhere. Like I was there in the summer as the sun was setting, and the mosquitoes were so bad. But it is said that gang members, when they would murder one of their victims, they would bring them to this sewage pond and dump them. It is said that Al Capone, a very notorious gang member, dumped bodies in that sewage pond. I don't know if that's true or not, but that is insane to think about because it's right outside of Chicago. Like we were like right near Chicago. I've never been to Chicago before. That's the closest I've ever been. That's like the closest I ever want to get. But that was crazy. And then there's an infant daughter there. Like there's a grave that just says infant daughter. I later found out that it was a headstone being replaced for somebody, but they didn't put it in the right spot. Like the person that's there is not an infant daughter. So that was kind of weird. But one piece of evidence that I did get, I was using the spirit box. I got a recording of like a baby crying, and it was freaky. And then I got some other like voices and stuff. Nothing extremely major, but one thing I did notice when I started talking to the caretaker, a coyote came walking down the trail just looking at us, and I was like, I'm scared. Like they will get close to you. Like they won't attack you, but like it's their world and we're living in it. There are these phantom houses, and people will be, so the cemetery is enclosed in woods on all 4 sides. It is freaky in there. Like no sunlight. When you're just in there and there's no one else there, you feel freaked out. But there's these trails because like there's a park next to it, I guess. I never really walked down the trails too much, but the guy I was talking to said that people will see houses off in the woods and they'll try to go towards those houses and then they'll disappear. Like houses of the older people who used to live around there. And that is just freaky to me. And then people will like just see like ghostly apparitions roaming around in the woods. You can get lost in those woods and like your sense of direction gets all messed up. He said people would be wandering out there for hours just lost. They don't know where to go. Like you feel time slips away from you. Like it feels like a freaking portal. And that's one thing that he brought up, was that there is he thinks or believes, or other people believe, that the cemetery is like a portal for other dimensional beings to come, and like the time travelers like that we were talking about, that they will show up there, and they will show up as like hooded figures, like all like black shadow with a hooded figure, like a hooded robe. They'll follow you home. So I was like, oh, that'd be kind of interesting. So then I come home, 2 o'clock in the morning. I'm passed out, you know, and I wake up right there in that corner. I see it. It's standing there. You know, they won't hurt you. He said like they won't hurt you. Like if you want them to leave, like you say, hey, you can't be here, you need to go. The next day, my nephew was coming over and I was trying to get stuff done real quick for the channel, and it was back there again. I didn't see it, but Smokey was in my room and he was sitting right here just screaming at there. And I was so fed up. I turned around, I was like, you can't be here anymore. You gotta go. Your time is up. Like, go back to where you came from or keep traveling. It's your time to go. Left, and I never heard anything since. Did you see that?
That was a very large bird.
What the heck? We do get hawks and eagles out here. So
It looked like a falcon.
maybe a falcon. But that was one of the more interesting cemeteries I went to, just because there's so much going on there. And then that picture, tried to recreate it, see if anything would pop up on a film camera, nothing did. The next cemetery is the Elmwood Cemetery, not the one you're thinking of. Elmwood Cemetery in Centralia, Illinois is home to a very old and sad story of Violin Annie. The cemetery once was called Centralia Cemetery, but was changed in the 1920s. It dates back to the 1860s and today holds 17,000 graves. The cemetery is most well known for the grave of Harriet Annie. At 11 years old, she died of diphtheria. What is that?
It's like something that they died of on the Oregon Trail. If you've ever played Oregon Trail.
She loved playing her violin for her family. Legend has it, if you visit the cemetery at night, you can hear her playing the violin for you. Some reports saying the statue will start to glow, while others say they have seen green tears flowing from her eyes. If you ever travel to her grave, keep your ears open, because she may have a song for you to listen to. Now I saw that one guy said that there is moss like on her chin, so people might have mistaken like the green tears for just wet moss. So I don't know, I've never been to this cemetery. I really want to go. It's like 6 hours away from here, so it has to be, that's a 12-hour drive. Like it's been on my list for quite a while.
The next one is Bloods Point Cemetery. Bloods Point Cemetery resides on Blood Points Road in Boone County, Illinois. It is named after the area's first white settler, Arthur Blood. Founded in 1836, the cemetery holds many legends and paranormal encounters. Right down the road, there's a bridge that goes over some railroad tracks. Long ago, a school bus filled with children went off the bridge, killing everybody inside. It is said that the kids are still at the bridge wanting to play. The bridge was also the site of several hangings. At the cemetery, there are reports of hearing whistling and seeing ghostly figures roaming around. Some have had encounters with what they believe to be a hellhound. It is said that Arthur Blood's children started seeing a witch. He found out and forbid his children to continue to see her. They secretly continued their meetings together until one day they were caught again. The father was so angry he hanged the witch along with his children on the bridge. Some say you can hear the children giggling in the cemetery and in the woods. I don't know why that word sounds weird coming out of my mouth, but I'm just gonna pretend.
Paranormal or encounters?
Paranormal. Did you hear it?
Paranormal. Now, there's no historical evidence to prove that he hanged them from the bridge, that he killed his children. There's no evidence to back that up. There's also nothing about a bridge. There's nothing about a bridge that I've gone over. I've gone over the fucking bridge.
I had to repeat the sentence about that bridge 400 times and it doesn't even exist.
There's nothing about a bus accident happening. It's one of those crybaby bridges, if you've ever heard of them. You know, you go and park your car on the bridge, you put it in neutral, and the ghost will push it over. They're everywhere. I don't believe in them. It's all fucking genetics. Whatever.
Genetics?
Yes, genetics is the reason for life.
I know. What even were you trying to say?
Geriatric or something.
That's old people. I still don't know what you mean. That the bridge is genetics and then it's geriatrics.
It's all
genetically old people.
Gerrymandering. You know, legend. Like, I don't believe it. It's
googly moogly.
Yes.
That starts with a G.
But I've been to Bloods Point. Fuck, dude.
Fuck, dude.
I've been there twice. The experiences that I have had there, holy shit, dude. The most prominent one, I'm not gonna say that this is paranormal because it's not, but I went there with, maybe it's spiritual. You all have seen them in an old video. If you haven't, go watch it. We went to Bloods Point together after I was on their podcast, and it was insane. As soon as we got there, Raph was like, I have to go to the bathroom. So he walks over to the woods. He comes back out with a Ouija board. It's that Ouija board right there. He's carrying it. He said, guys, I found this in the woods. You found what in the woods? Next to a cemetery that's supposed to be on the top 10 most haunted list in Illinois? What the fuck is that doing there? So instantly we go and investigate. We are looking. We found the container, the board, but no planchette. And so we came up with a theory that somebody was in the cemetery doing something they weren't supposed to with the board. They encountered something, and they wanted to keep the board and the planchette far away from each other. So maybe they still had the planchette. A person who owns the woods next to the cemetery contacted me, saw the video, and said, I'm gonna go back and look for the planchette once all the brush gets cleared out, like all of the, like in the winter where everything's bare. Couldn't find it. So I don't know, maybe those people kept it. Maybe they were just like so freaked out because it hadn't been neatly placed. It had been thrown into the woods. Like they were trying to get rid of it and dip. So I don't know, I kept it. I took it. It's right there. It's a decoration of my room now. Who just goes to a cemetery and finds a Ouija board in the woods?
You.
I captured one of the best voices that I have ever heard. It was a very deep voice, either saying like my tomb, my tooth. Insane. It was like the clearest voice I've ever gotten on my camera microphone. I wasn't using a spirit box or anything like that. It was with, no one heard it either. I was with a group of people, no one heard it. I'm still mystified. What I found out was that the woods, it holds some kind of energy. Like the woods are definitely more creepy than the cemetery itself. And we even noticed that the birds would only fly around the woods. They would not come into the cemetery. And we were like talking about that. And then we see a dead bird on the ground right in front of us in the cemetery. And we were like, is that what happens to birds when they come into the cemetery? Like there was something off about that place. I don't know if I've never seen a hellhound there. The bridge, we also went to the bridge. Nothing mysterious, spooky about it.
It was geriatric.
It was genetics. It was gerrymandering. It was some G. Isn't gerrymandering with a fucking J?
I don't even know what that means.
Oh, it's like it's something bad. Hey Siri, what is gerrymandering?
Here's what I found.
In representative democracies, gerrymandering is the political manipulation of electoral district boundaries with the intent to create undue advantage for a party, group, or socio-economic class within the
Jesus Christ.
I'm glitching. Constituency.
Constituency?
Sure.
Sounds like that bridge to me.
Manipulation of electoral boards
Just put the phone down.
to favor certain electoral outcomes. I don't know, there's definitely a vibe at Blood's Point, but I love it so much. But that is the 4 cemeteries that we have for you today. If you want to see a part 2, let us know, because I've been to more. I've had more experiences.
I frequent one cemetery, that's it. And it's not spooky.
Like and comment and subscribe. Let me know. Let us know. Let
somebody know.
Let someone know in the comments what your favorite cemetery is. If you have a spooky cemetery. If you've ever had a spooky experience in a cemetery. And on that note, we will see you. Bye.
Bye.